Landlocked Afghanistan depends on product inflows from Pakistan to meet its consumer needs, which in turn generates tax revenues for Pakistani authorities. The bilateral and transit potential between the two countries is estimated to be around $5 billion, but due to structural and bureaucratic hindrances, it currently stands at $1.7 billion. Afghanistan-Pakistan Transit Trade Agreement, or APTA, was initially drafted and signed by both countries in 2010 and later renewed in 2015. Due to expire in November 2020, it was further extended to February 2021 to allow further time to renegotiate the agreement. It's worth mentioning there exists no formal bilateral trade agreement between both countries, a framework of which was designed in 2019 called the Preferential Trade Agreement, or PTA. Finalizing and initiating these two agreements is critical to boost trade between the two countries and to strengthen regional economic connectivity. Despite APTA, truck drivers face a plethora of issues during their hauls. The truck first travels from the southern port of Karachi to Peshawar, a distance of over 1,000 kilometers, usually covered in 2 to 3 days. The 60-kilometer stretch between Peshawar and the Torkham border crossing point is another story.
My name is Khairullah. I have been driving trucks for the last 15 or 16 years. I usually drive between Kabul and Peshawar.
Khairullah says one of the biggest issues facing him is extortion at checkposts.
The mobility of vehicles is completely controlled by them. They do not allow vehicles in the daytime as there are senior officials around. At night, they allow more traffic and extort money from truck drivers, ranging from rupees 1,000 to 3,000. This is our biggest concern.
The major cause for concern at Karachi port is the cumbersome process of tracker installation. This problem resurfaces at the Torkham border crossing, causing immense delays.
Before COVID-19, there was a chance for those in queue at Torkham to cross a border in 2 to 3 days. But then it used to take 20 to 25 days, and most still could not cross. These kinds of difficulties existed on both sides of the border, though more here in Pakistan. At first there was only one scanner, now there are two. However, they are often non-functional. Even yesterday, it was non-functional.
The COVID-19 pandemic only further exacerbated the issue.
At first, Torkham Gate was closed for 2 to 3 months after emergence of COVID-19. We suffered a lot during that time. The officials did not allow drivers across the border, so one had to find another driver on the other side, and we also had to pay him. Another issue is about truck conductors. They don't allow them to cross a border. How are we supposed to drive truck then? These are very big vehicles. We need at least 2 conductors for this. Otherwise, the vehicle and cargo can get damaged.
The long queues brought additional challenges for drivers and conductors as there are no official parking areas.
At first, there were 2 parking grounds, Bada ground and Shakir Afridi ground. Both these grounds were barred by the government. This is also a problem. Instead of waiting in queue, if a few hundred trucks are parked in a ground, that is much better. Drivers also get time to take a nap.
Due to interventions by Ambassador Mohammad Sadiq, Pakistan's special representative to Afghanistan, many of these issues have been mitigated to some capacity. Problems such as quarantining of drivers, multiple illegal checkposts and associated extortion, and disallowing Pakistani drivers across the border during the COVID-19 peak have been largely sorted. But many of the aforementioned issues continually both harass drivers and traders and affect the overall bilateral trade bottom line. A swift and holistic solution to the various problems highlighted by drivers like Khairullah would go a long way in winning hearts and minds on both sides of the border, and also contribute significantly towards regional economic prosperity.